John Kaiser, and I'm the Vice President and General Manager for Intermodal at Union Pacific. And the question's related to how do we feel about capacity for 2011 in the intermodal world. Clearly, ocean carriers have added a lot of vessel capacity over the last year and a half, and we expect there to be sufficient and ample ocean carrier capacity. I think you'll find that that should be okay here in this year from our estimation. The domestic world has been very a lot of demand for capacity. Obviously, we were short in 2010. There's sufficient capacity right now. However, there is a lot of, we think, demand pending in the domestic space as a lot of the different regulations that are coming at the motor carrier world come into effect, whether it be the CSA requirements, the CARB requirements, environmental new engine requirements and investment. And so we're anticipating that, hopefully in a way that we won't be out of capacity like this past year, but we do think it'll be quite tight. We at Union Pacific added about 9,200 containers in 2010, and we have orders placed for another 4,800 that should all be here by early summer.
Those are 53-foot domestic containers?
All 53-foot domestic containers, and so those are literally on their way, are being produced, and so we anticipate that we will add a significant amount of capacity, but we do think that it's going to be a year where there's a lot of opportunities for the rail to move freight.
And are your partners also adding domestic containers?
Yes, each of our partners in the East are adding containers. I know some of the other suppliers in the marketplace are looking at adding some equipment. So there will be equipment added in 2011.
Well, last year, when the equipment came in was part of the problem. Some of it did not arrive until well after the peak season in the autumn. Are you confident that enough containers will arrive at the right time in 2011?
Certainly can't speak for the whole industry. I think from a Union Pacific perspective, we do think that our containers will be here in time. We should have all of our containers here before July.
Well, last year, the spring also turned out to be an unexpectedly tight time for intermodal capacity. What do you expect will happen this spring?
We do think it'll tighten up in the spring. We do think we'll ultimately have sufficient capacity, but it's important for customers to realize and make commitments of what they're looking for to us early so we can make sure we can meet all their needs.
Now, how big a factor is transloading? Last year, when there was tight supplies of marine containers, a lot of import goods were transloaded into 53-foot domestic boxes. Is that going to happen again this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We think transloading is really becoming an important part of the supply chain for a lot of customers, where they can delay their actual final deployment of their goods to the marketplace. So we think transloading is growing, will continue to grow, and is another important factor in the growth of the domestic world.
And that means you have to add even more 53-foot boxes to handle more of the incoming marine loads?
Correct.
And how big a factor is it going to be this year? What percentage of the business does it take?
Not sure if I know exactly that number. I can tell you that when you look at like Los Angeles, Long Beach, that's a major transload location, and we think as much as a quarter of all that freight coming in now is being transloaded, so it's significant.
Thank you very much.
All right.